Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the movie Spaceballs. One of the great Mel Brooks movies. This is like one of my favorite ones, mainly because I'm into Star Wars and Star Trek, and this movie just does a very good job of making fun of those. I also like Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles. Mel Brooks just knows what to do, and this just works pretty well from how it parodies a lot of different kind of things kind of going on. So we actually get a title crawl about the setup of the kind of universe. It's in a galaxy very, very far away, where we've got this race called the Spaceballs. They fucked over their own planet, and so they are attempting to get planet Druidia's heir. And I'm like, that gets more fucking prescient as we keep going on, isn't it? Where we're almost to a point where it doesn't seem out of reach when we are introduced to President Scroob. He opens up a can of Perrier air of because they need, it's like, sweet Jesus. It's funny because of how stupid you'd have to be to get to that point, but god damn it if this reality isn't fucking just being like, yo bitch, where's the blueprint? It's like, this wasn't supposed to happen. So their whole goal is to do that for take Planet Druidia's stuff. We also see that it is covered by a shield, so they need to somehow get them to give up the passcode, which that's pretty funny in and of itself. And we see that it's the wedding day for King Roland and of his daughter, Princess Vespa, to Prince Valium. And I really love that it's like done as this whole kind of like church kind of thing, and then like next week bingo, and then they do a take two later on, and it's just like, yes, keep going with that joke, please. So we see that Princess Vespa really isn't that much into this. We see that she's got Dot Matrix as her kind of serving droid, played by Joan Rivers. Really good role for her, and she just is like, screw this kind of shit. And it's really kind of funny because he's like, all right, start on your left foot. And she's like, Daddy, that's your right. It's like, too late, keep going. And she's like asking him why this is kind of going on. And we get pretty decent plot exposition because, I mean, a lot of people would be like, oh, we're kind of dumping here. But this is the last eligible prince that she can marry. There's no other ones. He's like a dude that's like a sleepy motherfucker. Prince Valium. I mean, they're going for it. So her and Dot just kind of bugger off, get into the Mercedes that we learn is like brand new from like someone in the family, and she blasts off. We also see the Spaceball ship, which is hilarious. You know, in Star Wars where you've got the whole kind of ship that's like going long and everything, this is a long ass motherfucker that's huge as shit and has a bumper sticker on the back that says we break for no one. It's like, alright, these kind of assholes. So we see that she is now in play, and let's see. And the Spaceballs understand that her capture, like, they're coming kind of for her. We get introduced to Colonel Sanders, which they get one of the best, yes, like the KFC one. One of the best lines is Rick Moranis being like, "What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken?" And it's down to the line and the delivery. Because you can say a line that would work pretty funny, but you got Rick Moranis, who, if you're not that well versed with his work, I completely understand that, because he was pretty much big within the 80s, but then, like, his wife died, and he pretty much retired from acting to take care of, like, his kids and everything like that. And so if you're, like, real young and you haven't really been exposed to him, that makes complete sense. He's been in the Ghostbuster movies, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids series. He just has a great comedic timing, especially in this. So he's Dark Helmet, pretty much your Darth Vader kind of analog. They're trying to see what's kind of going on. We see that this one dude called Dark Helmet to kind of tell him what was going on. He also went above Dark Helmet's helmet and told President Scroob and everything. He's like, oh, no, not that. Yes, that. As we see him put down his helmet, and instead of doing the force choke, fucking nuts, like, does this kind of thing with his ring, and fucking green laser blast is nuts. And everyone's like, oh shit. So we're kind of understanding what's kind of going on with this world, the kind of power structures and everything going in, and what kind of comedy we're going for here. So we see that they pretty much get her in like a tractor beam, and we see that Roland gets in contact with Lone Star and his sidekick Barf. Bill Pullman playing Lone Star, and you would remember him from other, like, this is before Independence Day, but if you're kind of going backwards in your filmography, for earlier movies, you'd know him from Independence Day. And if you're like, what the fuck, he kind of looks a little bit familiar. He is also the father of the guy that played Sentry in Thunderbolts. So, woo! So, we see them kind of doing this. We see a Winnebago, which is kind of funny. This is kind of a Han Chewie kind of pairing. Barf is a half man, half dog, eating, rocking out to Bon Jovi. So it's like, okay, let's see what goes on here. And we see that they are accosted by Pizza the Hut and his kind of robotic gangster dude. And they're like, we'll get you your money. He's like, yeah, you got to pay me $1 million space bucks, motherfucker. It's like, oh shit, unfair to the payor, but fair to the payee. It's like, okie dokie. This, of course, then hits us in with Roland being like, you got to save my daughter from the Spaceballs. It's like, all right, we'll do it for $1 million. He's like, all right, fine. She's in a Mercedes. Go for it. And they're like going, they're just like, and Barf's like, oh, that's Spaceballs. Don't want to fuck with them. And he's like, listen, Barf, we're not just doing this for money. We're doing it for a shitload of money. It's like, yeah, but you're paying it to a fucking sentient thing of pizza, motherfucker. How did you even get into that? So he's like, yeah, but boss, they're going to see us the minute we get in. What are we going to, like, how are we going to get in? He's like, not if we jam it. Yes, jamming is an effective technique. The best kind of gag, though, is that they actually shoot a fucking giant jam jar into the radar dish. Leading into the next amazing joke of this one dude that's from the police academy. Tell me him. Let me see here. Cast. Tuvok's also in here at a certain point, so haha. Roland. Michael Winslow. Yes. He's a dude that does like all these kind of sound effects and stuff, and he's doing all the sound effects like, and then I love that it goes to static and then he just goes shit, and then he like calls him over, and they're trying to see what's kind of going on. It was kind of funny seeing Dark Helmet trying to figure out what was going on with Mr. Coffee, thinking it was the radar machine before Sanders turned him onto the actual radar machine, and pretty much gives the entire plot, and Dark Helmet going to the camera. Everybody got that? So he comes over here, and the dude's, like, still talking on, like, the intercom kind of thing. Dark Helmet throwing it off. He's like, what? He's like, I lost the bleeps, I lost the sweeps, I lost the creeps. Before doing all the sound effects and everything, before we then see actual jam coming through the monitor. Him wiping it. Tastes is like, raspberry. Only one man would dare give me the raspberry. Lone Star. And the camera's shooting and it baps into him, and he fucking falls. Yes, I know I'm explaining it, but, like, it's funny for, if certain kind of jokes don't land for you, they keep shifting it up to completely weird and different kind of ways. We see sound effect kind of ones getting confused of what kind of tech is kind of going on, explaining shit out. Oh, trust me, we get an even better kind of territory. Sorry, this is one of my favorite ones, and I just love it just hits like a motherfucker. So, they're doing that. Barf is able to extract the princess and Dot while also carrying her matched luggage. And the funny thing is, she also had the kind of Princess Leia buns, and they're actually like fucking headphones and shit. And like, yeah, you fucking make a lot of money off that shit. Which is funny, by the way, because we get introduced later on. It's like, hopefully we'll all meet again in Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. And they are making Spaceballs 2, so it will be interesting to see how that kind of works. So, we then start getting more kind of actual kind of character kind of conflicts, because most of this stuff, we do get kind of humor out of what kind of goes on with the characters, and they do actually treat serious kind of character moments in this. As it's like, Bobby goes to Barbara, he's like, what the hell is that? And she's like, in the Royal Highness's match luggage, is just like hanging from his mouth before repeating it again. and then they're trying to get out. Vespa's kind of complaining and everything, so they decide to go to hyperactive and kind of blast off. And he's like, Dark Rival's like, what the fuck's kind of going on? It's like, all right, let's go to light speed, hyperactive kind of shit. He's like, fuck that shit. Ludicrous speed. He's like, we usually need to build up for that. It's like, fuck that. And it's like, chicken is like, prepare ship for ludicrous speed. Pretty much telling everything to get locked out. She was like, buckle this. Ludicrous speed, go! And then it goes, and he's fucking hanging on for dear life on the fucking thing. Being like, the effects of just what they do for the practical effects for the ships. And this of him, like, flying on. And it's going fast, and it goes super fast. They go to Plaid. And they pass over the Winnebago. And Barf is like, what the hell is that? Spaceballs 1. They went to Plaid. And this is rated, let me see. I'm pretty sure it's PG. But it's parental guidance because they drop an F-bomb at the end, which is an effective use of the F-bomb, by the way. Thank you very much. And it's like... and then he's like, I feel my brains going into my feet. Stop. We can't stop. We have to slow down first. Bullshit. I order you. Stop. And he uses an emergency brake and gets flung into a console. His helmet's fucked up. And his outfit. I just love it. You see the little tie in the shorts. And they flip it over. He's like, did we stop? And he's like, yeah. Cool. Everything all right? Yeah. All right, having a 5-minute break. Smoke if you got him. Smacked. Like, Grandis, man. So, they're then celebrating the Spaceballs one just overshot him by about a fucking week. But they're out of gas. Barb complaining you should have put more than $5 in before they crash on the moon of Vega. And we then see Lone Star and Vespa pretty much figuring out what's kind of going on. It's like pretty much thinking of the stereotypes of what each one is. We also see before this that Lone Star was looking at a certain kind of amulet, because that's what he was left with at a monastery in the Ford Galaxy. He actually talks to Vespa about this later on as they're going on. And they actually are like kind of surprised at how each one looks, but they get kind of confused. He like says instead of calling him captain, you call him you idiot, and it's like, you know what I mean. And you will not address me as you. You will address me as your Royal Highness. And they're taking the match luggage out. And it's like, he's like, take only what you need to survive. They get out to the desert. They're carrying this giant fucking box. And it's like, what the fuck's in this thing? Like, not just a hairdryer. I'm talking a box that you could fit some fucking person in. Like a hairdryer as big as a fucking 50-inch TV, motherfucker. Like, that big. You want this? You pick it up. And she's like, nobody talks to me like this. Nobody! And he's like, ooh. You know what, princess? You are ugly when you're angry. It's like, rah. So, they keep going on, making camp. He takes off his jacket to make sure that she's warm. And he's like, fuck, I'm cold too. But he's able to point out Druidia, talks about the whole kind of amulet thing. And as they get kind of closer for a kiss, Dot's virgin alarm goes. I was like, none of that shit, motherfucker. And it's like, yeah, we better start hitting on before that sun gets overhead. And then they're like, Of course, Lone Star's talking about water. We could pretty much see the same kind of effect for Barf. Dot asking for oil. And Vespa asking for room service before they start kind of just going down. Barf and Dot first. Lone Star pretty much carrying Vespa, dropping her gently before then flocking himself down. Physical comedy, great. What then happens? We get the kind of mashup between the Seven Dwarfs and Jawas. Just singing this ding song as they come upon them. It was like, oh shit, giving them water and everything and taking them into this kind of hidden kind of place. And we see, they're like, oh god, this is giving off like Temple of Doom kind of fucking vibes. It's like, oh shit. Okay. There's that. And they get brought into, we see Yogurt, kind of Wizard of Oz coming out. I was like, Yogurt the wise, Yogurt the powerful, Yogurt the all-knowing. Please, please, it's just plain yogurt. Yes, there are fucking yogurt jokes in this, and it fucking works for me. If it doesn't work for you, I totally get it. This only will probably hit with people that like the jokes and comedy that they're making out of Star Trek and Star Wars. Mainly more on the Star Wars kind of front, but we do get like teleporter stuff. We get President Scroob teleporting, getting his head on backwards and be like, "Why didn't anybody tell me my ass was so big?" And then teleporting him back, he's like, "Fuck, I'll just walk myself." And as they're trying to figure out what's kind of going on, and that's pretty much around the time that Spaceballs captures Vespa. But they're kind of working out with Yogurt. It's like, what are you doing here? Merchandising. And they break the fourth wall, talking about Spaceballs, the candy cereal, Spaceballs, the lunchbox, Spaceballs, the flamethrower. The kids love this one. And Spaceballs, the doll. May the Schwartz be with you. And it's just, it's great. It's like, yeah. And it makes so much fun of that because it's gotten to that level now where at first you'd see product placement that tried to be a little bit like, oh, I've got this Samsung. Oh, I've got this Cap Shield. And now it's just almost in your face. It's like, yes, I use do to get my shit done because it's got this, that, and the other, and I have to read off this whole list because that is what the marketing people want because this will make you want to consume it. It's like, fuck. So that's why it works for me. I'm like, holy shit. And it's like, Spaceballs the flamethrower. Oh god, you give that to kids? Holy fucking shit. So we then see that they're kind of like working out a little bit. Yogurt teaching Lone Star how to utilize the Schwartz, giving him this kind of ring, lifting up the statue as Barf comes out and like, oh, that's pretty kind of cool. And it's like, yeah. And then he accidentally drops it on his foot. It's like, oh shit. And then we see that he wasn't utilizing essentially kind of a spell, but then Yogurt's like, upsy daisy, pretty much using more kind of like a kind of spell similar more to kind of magic. It's like, it's very interesting because we do have Star Wars putting it more on a kind of magical, mystical kind of realm. So I kind of actually like that they essentially put in a spell thing. As we see Barf's fucking foot screwed up as shit, he's like backing off. But we see that they kind of trace them to the moons of Vega. We see Dark Helmet in a kind of safari helmet, and that President Scroob told them to comb the desert. We then see that they are indeed literally doing that, of combing the desert, with a big kind of comb and then an afro kind of comb, which has Tuvok's character that's really not really named, as he's like asking if they found anything yet, and he shouts, "We ain't found shit!" And it's like, yeah, you should let the comb. And the funny thing is, fucking Dark Helmet uses his like megaphone to yell at, like, to talk to Colonel Sanders, and then takes down the megaphone to then shout at the people combing the desert. And it's like, oh my god, it's like, holy fucking shit, like, they got giant fucking combs, man. It's like, oh my god, those assholes don't know what they're doing. So they kind of start searching around a little bit more, and they find out about Yogurt, and then we learn that Dark Helmet hates Yogurt. It's like, Yogurt, I hate Yogurt, even with strawberries. And then he's like, why don't you just go in there and get her? It's like, no, the Schwartz have two sides. He got the upside, I got the downside. But she'll come to us. So he then utilizes his trickery to present himself as King Roland, bring Princess Vespa out, and shouting, "For you," as she faints from seeing that it's Dark Helmet, and captures her and dies. Yeah, and one of the funniest things was, and how they were trying to pretty much find Vespa and where she was, they actually watched the movie of Spaceballs. It's like instant TV, instant cassette, and it's just funny as shit, especially when they get to the middle portion where they're at the same time. It's like, what the fuck is going on now? When's this? This is now. Go back to then. No, we should pass it just now. This is now, happening now. Can we go back to then? Too late. And I was like, what the fucking shit? But that's how they kind of get to him. Funny fucking shit. So, Lone Star and Barf are giving chase. We also see Dark Helmet playing with his dolls and shit like that. We see that they utilize a plastic surgeon to threaten to turn Princess Vespa's nose back to what it originally was. And Roland's like, fine, I'll give you the code. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's like, that sounds like something somebody would put on their luggage. Scream comes in. It's like, hey, we got that shit? It's like, yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy fucking shit, that's the same one on my luggage. And they're just looking at each other. And the thing is, President Scroop does not want Dark Helmet to have that helmet down in front of him because he can't tell he's making faces. And then Helmet puts it around and it's like, it's like, all right. So we now know that they are going for planet Druidia. Lone Star and Barf are able to get to the Spaceballs prison. Barf pretty much flipping off these guards and be like, we're getting you for legal parking. And then beating the shit out of him, taking their clothes. Finds her there because she's singing, and she's like, oh, she's a bass. Get her and Dot out of there. And they escape because they are able to utilize their stunt doubles for the Spaceballs to capture them. They pretty much get out to the Winnebago, and they actually ask Vespa to pretty much hold down the fire because one blaster bolt fused the door, and they left the keys within the Winnebago. And she's like, I hate guns. And then someone shoots her hair, and she fucking Rambos the motherfucker. And even Dot's like, yeah, that was good even for Rambo. It's like, all right, let's get this shit going. So then we get towards the end of the movie, and we see that the Spaceballs take their giant vehicle and transform it into Mega Maid. Because they're like, how are they going to get the air out? They have a Mega Maid that's got a vacuum that they are going to suck the air out. And the thing is, this is supposed to be 10,000 years worth of air. And Dark Elf was like, yeah, we look at the last 5 with the way these motherfuckers work it. So we then change up the set from what we're usually used to. President Scrooge running, he's like, yeah, if I walked, the movie'd be over. So they pretty much start bringing it up, sucking it up. Roland pretty much shows that he's pretty much dead. But Lone Star and his cadre of people have gotten into Mega Maid's head. He's able to figure out what's kind of going on, utilizing the Schwartz and Vulcan neck pinches to like take some motherfuckers out before he's attempting to initiate the self-destruct sequence. They also switch the air back onto Druidia before going in, utilizing his Schwartz powers to switch it from suck to blow. And they're like, why the fuck did she go from suck to blow? Also chanting suck as she's taking the air out. And as he's pretty much getting ready to do the self-destruct, that's when Dark Helmet comes in, leading to one of the great kind of hits for Star Wars. And he's like, wait, let me tell you how we're connected. I am your father's brother's cousin's former roommate. Wait a minute. Your father's brother's mother's cousin's former roommate. This whole thing is like, what does that make us? Absolutely nothing, which is what you're about to become. And then they start kind of fighting, and it's very kind of interesting because they get lasers out of their rings and they kind of start fighting a little bit. They accidentally kill one of the people that was like in production for Spaceballs. They're like, he did it. What? Pretty much trying to like crack his ass out and everything. They do a thing that kind of blams out their lasers. They get their Schwartz twisted, which is like holy fucking shit, blasting each other off. Lone Star can't get past his helmet, and he starts laughing. Goes, and then he just punches him. He's like, fuck you. He's like, all right, put her there. And then pretty much takes the ring. He's like, oh, fool you. Drops the ring. He's like, all right, say goodbye to your 2 best friends. And I don't mean the ones in the Winnebago. Pretty much get ready to shoot him in the nuts. But then he pretty much has an epiphany with Yogurt saying, like, he's like, I lost, with Yogurt, I lost the ring. He's like, the ring is Bupkiss. I found it in a Cracker Jack box. The Schwartz is in you. Use that. And he's able to, like, utilize the Schwartz to get a mirror and blast it. He's able to shield his junk and then blast it into Dark Helmet's junk. And then he hits the self-destruct sequence. And then running, we get, like, a whole kind of song going on. They blast out. We see everybody kind of is trying to escape. The petting zoo and everything. Bearded Lady, a bear, and all that. Everybody except Scrooge, Sanders, and Dark Helmet are on there, and the count is like, you have such and such to do the abort self-destruct sequence, and they kind of flash down, and it's out of order, and we get, fuck, even in the future nothing works. That's like, yep, and then she skips over 7. Like, what the fuck happened there? Sorry, just kidding. Have a nice day. Thank you. As Mega Maid is blown up, the head and the hand kind of blast off, and then we get another kind of thing where they hit off on Planet of the Apes, where it lands on Planet of the Apes, and the apes are like, what the fuck's crawling out of her nose? Spaceballs. Ah, shit, there goes the planet. It's like, yep, alrighty there. So, we also see that Pizza the Hut has died as well, because we see it on a newscast that he got locked in a car and ate himself to death before teasing a review of Rocky 5000. So Lone Star just leaves them off and decides to collect for expenses, which is like, instead of like the million, like 240 some bucks, and just goes off. And we also see that Yogurt was able to translate Lone Star's medallion, making all these sounds, and I was like, no, I'm just clearing my throat. It's like, listen, you'll be told at the correct time. Also giving him a fortune cookie and telling him to break it before he eats it. So they're kind of bucking off, and Barf's like, yeah, I'm a little bit hungry. He's like, hey, here you go, have this. Yeah, because they stop at this place first to get some food. So they're just bucking out. We see this waitress kind of like flirting with both of them a little bit, and gives the soup to Lone Star and the special to Barf. However, within this, if you've seen the movie Alien, you see John Hurt. Let me see. Yes, John Hurt. He is down there, and he has a special, and we see this dude telling a joke, and he starts laughing, but then an alien bursts out of him. It's kind of like a xenomorph. He's like, oh no, not again, and then starts singing, hello my baby, hello my honey. And they had changed their once it started happening, Barf's like, just give me the soup, and then this alien is like singing and everything, and then bucks off past them, and they're just like, check please. So that's why they weren't able to eat anything. So he then gives the fortune cookie to Barf. He opens it up, and he's like, hey, yeah, that medallion means you're a prince, man. I was like, he can marry Vespa. It's like, yeah, and there's some liquid Schwartz in there for you. It's like, may the Schwartz be with you. Wow, what a world kind of shit. I was like, yeah, all right. And then him and Barf show up in some nice duds and everything, and it's almost like the priest there is like, all right, the short version. Well, the short version. It's like, do you, like, do you take Prince? And then, of course, Lone Star pops up, and it's like, I'm a prince. It's like, want to marry me? It's like, yes. All right, the short version. Do you? Yes. Do you? Yes. All right, kiss her. And then, of course, they have a nice moment. He's like, he's had to try and do this fucking wedding like 3 fucking times at this point. It's like, he's just fucking done with it. And then, of course, there goes hello. Oh, there's that. There goes the Virgin alarm and shit. Oh, yeah. Spaceballs 2 should be out in 2027. And, of course, they actually made space tracks by turning around to get there. So, I just love it because of the execution of the comedy and everything that they kind of lampooned as well. Like, I loved what they were doing with the teleporter, with the giant ships, what they were able to do with the Force and everything like that. How the incompetence of this kind of giant, stupid bureaucracy, and just, like, the whole kind of Spaceballs being assholes, and just, like, really almost you're questioning how they don't fucking light socket themselves of, like, just sheer stupidity of what's kind of going on. Oh, God. It just does really well. And then the thing is, you still have those funny things going on, but you still have this seriousness kind of going on of, like, Lone Star trying to help Princess Vespa, and them kind of, like, bonding over what's going on, like Vespa being like, I guess love isn't in the cards for me. It's one luxury a princess can't afford. And we don't really see much of her before this, but, I mean, you definitely get the kind of vibe of, like, okay, she's spoiled, and the thing is, we don't know what the other kind of princes were like, but, I mean, if this is kind of like the last kind of bit, this dude who's like falling asleep is like, holy fucking shit. And it just works. I mean, it kind of sounds simplistic of like, okay, the Spaceballs are so stupid, they don't have air, so they're going to steal Druidia's air and everything, and then of course this gets set off because the princess is like, fuck this shit, I don't want to deal with this shit, and it's like, oh god. And then bringing in your kind of typical kind of rogues, and then them making themselves better people kind of things going on. It's like, it's simple, sure, and it's more the vehicle for the comedy, but I mean, it works in a nice kind of symbiosis. I mean, the story doesn't sacrifice itself completely on the altar to make sure that we have this comedy set piece. It integrates organically, at least for me. If you don't like it and you think it's complete and utter shit, that's cool. I got no problem with that. Don't watch it. I would recommend that people watch it because this is one of Mel Brooks's like great ones. I mean, there are other ones as well that I still need to watch and everything, but like, since I'm into sci-fi so much, I just really gravitate towards this one as well. It works and hits for me just on there. So I'd definitely recommend it to a lot of people. There's not a lot of kind of crazy, gross kind of shit going on, but it's one of those ones kind of like Austin Powers, where you might watch it when you're younger, but then you'd watch it later on and get a lot more of the jokes out of it and be like, oh shit, that kind of thing kind of turning on and turning on. It's just, I've seen this so much, it's like, oh yeah, do, you hit. And sometimes it gets more prescient as time goes on. It's like, fucking shit. So yeah, those are my opinions on the movie. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.